Welcome to
MIA2K,
your ticket from Miami to Seoul.
We're Kathy and Laura, and we're so happy you could join us today.
You probably know us from, just kidding, you don't know us yet. We're just two Miami girls with obsessive fandom tendencies who fell into the inescapable void of Korean entertainment. And we're here to share our insights and spill all the tea only grown fans like us can enjoy.
We've done all the research and acclimating so you don't have to. Before we begin, please make sure you're following us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you love visuals like us, you can watch us on our YouTube channel. We drop episodes with our hot and sunny takes every week. Hi, guys. We know what you're thinking. In this podcast, we only talk about men. We only care about men. And the answer is maybe, because we've given that impression. But in honor of International Women's Day, we're here to right that wrong.
Yeah, on our day-to-day, we stand and follow plenty of women, even if we haven't gone around to talking about them yet. So we want to share some of our favorite Korean entertainers that we think are worth your time. And just because we're trying to keep ourselves from going overboard, Laura and I have promised to not go into detail, and we're not going to cover every woman in Korean entertainment. So we're just going with a concise list to start with, and then we'll go into detail later on in other episodes. So let's jump right in.
Yeah. So let's start with some of our favorite soloists. They basically inspire us with their bad bitch energy and their no nonsense approach to life and music. We want to start with Jessi. She's amazing.
She's pretty up there for us for sure.
Yeah, she's super talented. Her rapping is great. Her voice is great. Her music is amazing. And we like her attitude, especially in an industry where it's maybe frowned upon a little bit to be outside of the box or a little outrageous. She just made that like her selling trait, and people love her for that because she makes everyone feel comfortable and not worry too much about what they're saying and that kind of stuff. So we appreciate that from her.
I think Jessi has an incredible story. She's been in the industry for 16 plus years with failed attempts at having people appreciate her music and her style. And she finally, after quitting and coming back and quitting and coming back, found her footing a couple of years ago. And I think COVID also got in the way a little bit of her success going even further. But with that said, the last 3 years, I think, have been pivotal for her. And I'm so excited that she's getting her flowers. As I think what's most important, or the biggest life lesson about her story, and you guys should all look into Jessi's story, is that she was always trying to conform to the industry and to, be liked and do what was asked of her by her contracts and her agencies. But she didn't really actually start thriving until she was herself and was done putting up with people's shit. And that's what we love about her. She's so irreverent and worth watching and listening to, and love our queen, Jessi.
Yeah, we look forward to every Thursday for her Jessi short review. She always brings the best out of all of the guests that she has on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like a pleasure,
it's just a riot. It's so
it's
funny.
Like a fun time. Yeah,
it's so funny. It's a great show, and it's really well produced. And she's, like Laura said, all the guests always make a comment about how comfortable they felt and how they were really excited to come, because at this point they've done 2 years of the show. So it set a precedent for how irreverent and crazy it is. And they just, I think, are shocked that they had that experience as well, even though they shouldn't be after 80 plus episodes. So yeah, we love that for her.
Another bad bitch from the same company is Hyuna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. It looks like one of those easy names, but I could be butchering anyway. She also had a lot of struggles. She was kicked out of her original company for dating another person that was in the company. And they got kicked out, and she signed with P Nation, which is from
Psy.
Psy. And I want to say she's thriving. The couple of songs that she's released in the last two years
Mhm.
have been pretty good. They've been super catchy, and she just does what she wants. She's a little weird, a little quirky, but it works for her, and it's great to watch.
Yeah, even when she was in her girl group, and I think she was seen as someone who was pushing boundaries. And when she started doing her solo work, she was seen as a very sexy woman. And she set trends for women idols who wanted to work not just in their girl groups, but as solo artists. And she's also had a lot of health issues that she has been able to overcome through her strength and dedication. So we stand. We have absolutely no choice.
And she just recently got engaged, so that's good
She
for
did.
her.
So that's a
She's
big fuck you to Cube Entertainment.
yeah.
The next person that we wanted to talk about, I think everyone in this list kind of fits the mold of not fitting in to the regular industry or not having great experiences with their companies, et cetera, et cetera. So an absolute queen that everyone worships, and rightly so, is CL. She had a tumultuous exit from YG. She was in one of the biggest girl groups from the second generation, 21. She found out about this bandment through social media while at Thanksgiving dinner. And I just hate all the things that she had to go through. But with that said, all her latest drops and all her latest collabs and everything that she's doing is setting her up for big international success. So I can't wait to see what more comes from her. She speaks so many languages. She's so smart. Her raps are the best. Her work is very aptly named. She has her single slash album titled The Baddest Female. And we just love that for her because she is. And yeah, amazing rapper, amazing vocalist, amazing songwriter, and just want her to succeed and thrive.
Yeah, we saw her in concert at Head in the Clouds Festival, and
Mhm.
it was very memorable. It was one of the better sets that we saw the
For
whole
sure.
weekend.
She's an established seasoned artist.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you can tell.
Yeah.
And going from a very seasoned artist, we're going to maybe the youngest woman we're going to be talking about. I think
Probably.
her name is YoungJi, and she's very young. I think she came up through the high school rapper show. She's a rapper, and she was born to entertain. Her personality is perfect for television, YouTube, you name it. It's amazing. She's been part of songs with seasoned male rappers, and she's held her own, and she's been the highlight or one of the highlights of the song. Her music is also pretty good. Well, my favorite, like, I guess, memory or whatever thing that she's done is she did an interview with Kai 2 years ago for his first mini album, and you could tell she was about to have a heart attack, but that didn't stop her from being absolutely crazy. Kai was about to like roll on the floor laughing. It was
Literally.
amazing to see. Amazing.
Yeah, she was not stereotypically pretty and fit for the industry. And she really pushed through that, and she was still just herself. And which is, she's, her personality is bigger than any room she's in. It's incredible. I love to watch her, and her voice is so loud, and she is so loud, and her personality is so loud that I think that word
Yeah.
describes her perfectly. So now, she's lost a lot of weight and she's fit and whatever, but she still hasn't changed her personality, which I think is amazing. And I just can't wait to see what else she comes up with, because her crazy antics just are the best.
They are. She also did an interview with Honey from Monster X. And I guess part of the show is just to wear something outrageous. And she wore like a ski mask with like sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised that her English was really, really good.
I was gonna say, I think she kind of low key knows English, because
Yeah.
it kind of comes up in everything that she's in.
Yeah.
but in a funny way. She never takes herself too seriously, which is
Mm,
one of the things that's so great about her. So she uses the English as another way to be funny, which is the
yeah,
best.
it works out. As we mentioned, we're trying to give you guys all our takes in little batches. So now we're gonna move on to K dramas. And well, K drama actresses. So I, Kathy hasn't seen that many K dramas. I've seen a little bit, and I have two favorite actresses. One of them is Park Min-young. The other one is, I'm gonna butcher this, SungKyung. I can never choose which one's my favorite actress, because if I watch like a drama with Park Min Young, I'll say, oh no, she's my favorite. But then like I watch another one with Sung Kyung, and then I'm like, no, just kidding. She's my favorite. They're both really, really, really good actresses. They can do really serious, and they can also do really funny. They're both like beautiful. And for Sung Kyung, she actually did a collab with Loco from AOMG. I think it was last year or the year before. And it was really good. Actually, people thought they were dating.
It was so cute. I was one of them.
Yeah.
They are so cute.
She's very, very good. I enjoy everything that they've done. And I'm always itching to see what they come out with.
The only dramas that I've watched, I'll say, are Hwarang and Squid Game. So I don't have a lot. The female lead for Hwarang, Goara, I think is her name. Her eyes are so expressive. And the way that woman has a faucet to just like shed tears, it's incredible. So love that for her. And then with Squid Game, Jung Hyoyeon, I think is how you pronounce her name. She was modeling and then she got discovered for that show, and now she's going to be one of the most sought after actresses and models in the world. So good for her. Just rooting for her. Her acting was incredible in Squid Games. And now to some funny ladies that are worth shouting out. We see a lot of variety shows. We don't necessarily know everyone's names or keep up with everyone's emceeing all around the circuit, but there's a few that I think are really outstanding. And one of our favorites is Jaejae. Laura introduced me to her with her show that she had Monsta X on. She had them on like 2 years ago, and then she had them on again last year. She's so funny. I mean, she has red hair, so by that, she had already caught my eye from the beginning with her really strong red hair. But she's so quick, and she just it's really hard, I think, to be at the same energy level as idols. And she just goes above and beyond. And for the variety show in her own style, I think she does it really well. So I like the setup of her show and the way that they kind of match whatever the idols bring to the table.
Yeah, her show with Jessie's show, I think, are both different, and they both make all the people that are guests really excited to be there. Like you can tell everyone that's a guest on their shows want to be there. They're not like forced to be there. So I think that's incredible by itself. But she's very out of the box, and she's a great MC. And I also enjoy watching her show all the time. It's great, especially as like a pick me up.
Another show that we love watching for a different reason is this show called K-Bob Star. And this comedian, YoungJi, she cooks for idols and people that come on the show. And because we know that idols deprive themselves of food so much, it's such a pleasure to us to watch them eat. And she just cooks so deliciously. Like you can tell the food that she makes is just so amazing. So, and she inserts her funny ad libs here and there to make it extra funny. Her and her sous chef as well. They both are really funny. So the show just has kind of everything that we love. It has humor. It has an opportunity for our idols to be themselves and enjoy food, which, oh, thank God for this woman and this show.
With that, we also want to shout out some of our favorite girl groups, because yes, we do love girl groups. It's not just men groups. We want to start with our favorite. I would call them the OGs for us, Mamamoo. I think we've mentioned them before in other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the baddest in the girl groups. They're amazing. They're all amazing. They're all talented. They break stereotypes and they don't run away from being who they are, which I guess is like a theme of this episode.
Now you know how Laura and I pick our peoples that we like.
Yeah, but they're all really really amazing. I'm happy that even though they're not all in the same company still, they're still able to work together
Mm-hmm.
and make music together. But yeah, they're amazing.
As usual, Laura had nothing better to do with her life than to ruin mine. She was, I don't know, I think this was around like mid-year last year. You were like, I really like this girl group. You have to see them. And she started sending me their videos, and I immediately fell head over heels for them. I started looking at their debut, their videography, everything. I became obsessed with Hwasa. She's my freaking bias because, of course, and their vocals, I just cannot say enough. Solar as a leader, her pipes are next level. I love Hwasa's vocals so much. Just her breath control is what I really cannot get over. Moonbyul doesn't even sing that much in the group because her position is a rapper, but even her, whenever she gets to showcase her voice, she sings beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to pronounce Hyeon's name. Hyeon. They pronounce it with like without the W. All their voices, the four of them, are just incredible.
Yeah, I think I'm
Us.
gonna say it how I read it, and I'm gonna butcher it, and please
It's
forgive
fine.
me. Hien, I think her voice is actually it fits more with features. I've noticed that she's the one that other artists tend to reach out to feature in songs because her
Mm-hmm.
voice is very
Smooth.
sweet and
Mm-hmm.
smooth, which usually the people that reach out to her are R&B like
Yeah,
music or like R&B adjacent. So it
totally.
makes sense that her voice would be the one that people tend to gravitate for.
The next group is Blackpink. Both Laura and I, we do like Blackpink's music, or most of their big hits. I think we like
Yeah.
them. We actually like them more as individuals, and we focus more on what they do on their own outside of the group. There's a lot of controversies with how YG manages their girl groups, just like it happened with 21 and CL. So again, for Blackpink, I would say I kind of fell in love with Jisoo a couple weeks ago looking for footage in general of the group. Laura has liked her since the beginning because she kind of like has a bitch face and doesn't really engage with the buffoonery of the rest of them.
Yeah.
We also like Lisa a lot. I think her personality is cool and stuff like that. So I think those would be our main two.
Yeah, with Lisa, her personality is very, I guess, Western, so it's easy to relate to her.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't think she's ever lived in like this side of the world, it
Right.
still feels very Western. So she's very easy to relate to, and she just has that attitude that like you just want to be her friend.
Or be her.
Or yeah, and then I've seen her like clips here and there of when she was a coach for a Chinese show. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was the show was called, but she was scary and it was kind of fun to watch. Like
She's a
she was
savage.
she was the way that she gave these like kids looks like really this is your one job and you're not practicing enough. It was a lot. It
Yeah.
was very different than other idols that I've seen where they're made coaches, where they tend to be like a little bit nicer because they know all these kids are going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Not Lisa, and that was kind of cool.
The one thing I wish from that we would get from Lisa is a full album, because they hyped
Oh,
up her
that's
album
true.
so much last year and it had two songs
Yeah.
and they were both good. Money was amazing. Money went so viral. And La Lisa, at first I was like, I'm not sure about this, but then I ended up getting it. La Lisa, like
It's
it's
true.
catchy. I just wanted more. I she left me wanting more, which I guess is a good thing. But please,
Yeah.
Lisa, give us more solo work, please.
And one last thing I want to mention about Jisoo is her like fashion. It doesn't look like it's like llamativa or like too out there, but when
Like
you really
overly thought out, I guess.
yeah, but like when you look at her in the way that she styles herself like outside of like group stuff, it's really nice. Like it's classy, but not too boring. There's just something about it, I think.
Yeah, she's Dior's muse for a reason. And
Yeah.
I love that they're including her in literally every campaign ever. But
Yeah.
again, I just literally 2 weeks ago fell in love with her sense of humor because I got to see a bunch of compilations and she's just iconically funny. Like she really truly is effortlessly hilarious. And I live.
Love that. Then we also want to mention Itzy. They're young, but they're so cute. There's I forget her name, but there's this one member that ever since they said that her emoji or
The
like her,
sloth.
yes, I cannot unsee it.
Me
I,
too.
it
Me
it
too.
it reminds me of there's a movie with a sloth. Is it Zootopia?
Yeah.
But I can't get it out of my
I
head,
know.
and it is the cutest thing in the world. Like, no mercy, dead from cuteness. Like, I can't, yeah.
I know all of their animoji comparisons are really accurate. Like
So cute.
they're so cute. They're adorable. And we like them because of Jessi. When we saw them on Shoulder View, we were like, oh wow, okay, these girls are different. They stand out and they're really cool together and separately. So
We also kind of like the Maknae a lot. She's sassy. Like,
she's gorgeous.
yeah, she's gonna be one of those that I feel like she's going to not fit into like your typical stereotypes.
Yeah.
And we're about it. Like,
She just graduated high school literally like 2 seconds ago.
yeah, yeah.
And for
2 weeks.
some reason, you know, obviously I want to marry Jungkook and I'm obsessed with him, but because I know I can't have him, I want him to have the best in life. And I think for some reason she is. There's something about this girl that I'm like, I want her for Jungkook. Like I I'm sorry, not sorry. Like I don't know. This me in my head. There's never been a connect between them. There's never been a dating room or nothing. This is just me by myself. I just want her for him.
And when she mentioned this to me, I was like, wow, yes. I co-sign. How can we make this happen? Who do we have to call? Like,
They're just I can picture them together. They both have these big eyes. They're both a magnate. They're both amazing. Both of them with black hair. Ah, it's
it's very
delicious. I
cute.
want them to have babies. Okay, I'll stop now.
And then Jaejae, is that how you say her name?
Yeah, I think so.
She's the leader of Itzy, and she's like the girl Hyunjin, like in terms of looks. They have like the same type of face and the really aggressive, beautiful eyes. And actually, I think she had the most popular Artist of the Month video until maybe like a couple days ago when Hyunjin's video either met her or like just surpassed her.
Mm-hmm.
I can't quite remember, but usually we kind of get frustrated at the choreographies that they choose for the women for the Artist of the Month videos, because they always tend to be very not so powerful. There's this very big difference in how girl groups are choreographed versus like boy groups, men group, and women can do the same as the men, but for some reason they aren't choreographed the same. And I get that some groups have like a cute image or whatever, but I think she could have done like a superpower. And I mean, with what she was given, she did a really powerful performance.
She really did. I think it has something to do with the way in which they think fans will perceive the idols if they see them being like too much of a bad bitch. They want them to still be cute and they want them to still be, oh, damsel in distress or whatever. I don't know. I think it has something to do with that because all of these women we know can do a lot more than they're allowed to do.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of Alexa. She's a soloist. Um, she's a Korean American. She was born in the U.S. and her dancing is ridiculously powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's off the charts. She dances more powerful than a lot of the men idols that we like. And so obviously they can do it, but
It's what put her on the map. And yeah, and obviously we're going to talk about this later, but now the dance shows that they're doing with women clearly women are extremely powerful dancers. So we just want to see that everywhere. With the next girl group, Aespa, did they debut last year? I feel like they debuted last year.
Yeah, I think they did.
They debuted very recently with their Next Level and Block Mamba and their whole like FX avatar. There are 8 members, not 4 bullshit from SM Entertainment trying to do the most. Like,
they debuted in 2020.
Thank you. Okay, 2020 makes sense. So I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to them until I saw the SM Town live in quotes concert they did on January 1st. It was just a really good show. They put them in a bunch of little subunits as well, so we could see them differently. And they put 2 of them on Got to Beat, which is the girl group version of the super group Super M from SM. So I don't know how, but I ended up with a bias within like 6 seconds of looking at them. And my bias in Aespa is Winter. And I just saw that her fan cam for the Got the Beat performance broke records. I'm just very proud of my girl. And we have to watch out for them for sure, because if Juhani is into them the way that he is, they have to be good. They have to be good. Everyone, you know, they came into the scene and everyone is plenty aware of every single song. You can tell every single artist and idol in the industry right now knows Aespa. And yeah,
they honestly ruined Next Level, like the phrase for me forever. Now, anytime anybody says Next Level, all I can think of, I'm on the next level. Like,
totally.
I can't.
And also another honorable mention, or must be shouted out, again from the SM Town Live, another girl group that they really, really are so blessed to have is Girls' Generation. I don't follow the group as a whole. I just haven't gone into them. It's, you know, nothing that I don't like them. I just haven't given them the time because there's so much freaking entertainment and content to see from everybody else. But worth mentioning, Hyoyeon, Taeyeon, and Boa have made incredible careers and paths for themselves as solo artists. In particular, I wanted to shout out Hyoyeon because she's part of Girls' Generation. She has her solo work as an artist, and she's a DJ. She's a female DJ, and she's toured a lot as a DJ. And I just love that because it's a very male dominated field, like many are, but that one in particular. So we want to shout out more soloists. The beginning section that we did was kind of our top faves all day, every day. These are women that we keep an eye on as well, but they don't do as much work in the entertainment stuff that we watch, like the variety shows and stuff. I think they do a little bit more independent things. So
yeah,
my absolute favorite vocalist, I think, is LeeHi. Love her. She came up during the same show as Jamie, K-pop star. The first season, Jamie placed first and LeeHi placed second. Jamie ended up in JYP and LeeHi was in YG, I think, Entertainment.
I think so, yeah.
And then she left, and we've heard her speaking about how intensely crazy being in one of these big companies is in terms of their diet and workouts and stuff. She said that she was forced to work out like 4 hours a day. And so she said peace to YG, and Code Kunst, I think is how you pronounce his name, told her about AOMG and about trusting J Park. And I think it's one of the best decisions that she's ever made. I think she's very happy with what the label has allowed her to do. I personally kind of fell in love with her music. Her last album was a total absolute hit for me. I listened to it on repeat. Laura had to hold me back from buying the physical CD because she's like, Kathy, you can stream it. You don't need to buy it. And I'm like, but I want her photo cards, and I'm a child. So that's how much I like LeeHi. If anybody needs to know, obsessed with her.
In terms of AOMG, I prefer Hoody. I think she was actually the first female like K-hip hop artist, K-R&B artist that I listened to. She was also the first woman to be signed to AOMG. So for a long time, it was her and the guys. And she held her own. I think her music is amazing. Her voice fits with a lot of different things, because you wouldn't think it would fit with some of J Park's ratchet songs, but it does somehow.
It really does.
And it just works out. I don't know how it works out. There's this one song, I forgot the name of it. He has a Korean version with Hoody and then like an English version by himself, I think it is. And give me the one with Hoody every day and any day, because she just brings something to it. She did a cooking show last year, the year before. I'm confused. We've been stuck at home and just for a long time, and I'm just confused right now about years.
Yeah.
But she had a show on YouTube. It was a cooking show where she like invited people to eat because she would cook for them and then just have like a conversation. And I just don't understand how nobody asked to marry her
On the spot.
because she was cooking for them and like it looked good. Like they were just like eating. Even Gray, she interviewed Gray from AOMG, and he was like, I was hoping you wouldn't do chicken because I've been on this diet with chicken all the time. But like as soon as she popped out her chicken that she made for him, he's like, oh, this is great. And he ate it all. I don't know if it was because he was being nice, but it looked like he was enjoying it. But yeah, it was actually a really nice show. She did an interview with Sogum and LeeHi, and they had like this really nice discussion.
Honest.
Yeah, on how it was to be women in their industry and their different experiences and perspectives. But it was great.
It was fire. I loved the show. She interviewed Harry, PH1, and I kind of wanted them to get married, even though he's mine. But from just their chemistry and also she's really good at making people feel at ease. And she's not someone who is overly extroverted at all. She's super quiet. She's super mild and mellow. And even with that, she was able to get really good questions and get really good information out of the guests that went on her show. So big fan. And she actually featured on PH1's latest song called Lately. And I'm obsessed.
Person that I would also want to shout out, even though I don't know her as what she's known for, it's IU. Like I don't really know her music at all. The only song that I've listened to is the one with Sugar, and that's it. But I do like her as an actress. I think she's also up there with MinYoung and SungKyung in terms of being my favorite. She's really good. And she did this K-drama that's super popular, Hotel de Luna, and her character was literally the definition of bad bitch. And the way she portrayed that, like you can tell she herself is a bad bitch. Since everyone is so obsessed with her and sees her as this big role model, I've always wondered how she must feel and how she deals with that pressure, because it never looks like she's struggling, which I mean, could be a bad thing. She's not able to show maybe who she really is, but she just never looks like she's struggling. And the pressure that she has to be huge because she's the most popular soloist in Korea. Like,
yeah. For the latest awards that were fan voted, it was like BTS and her, like 7 men and 1 woman. Just, kind of, she owns the country. She is their sweetheart, their darling, whatever you want to call it. I personally, the only songs that I know are from when she went on ODG with Minso, and she was like, I love Celebrity and I don't know what other song she mentioned, but that's how I got into her music. I don't really know that much. I'm really into her Bodyguard. I think all of us are. It's like, oh, what do you like about IU? Her Bodyguard. It's who I'm into. But Laura, you're so right. The way that she just seems like she's fine is insane. So another soloist worth shouting out for literally 5 seconds is ChungHa, because she did a song in Spanish and we love her.
And it was good. Like,
and it was
her pronunciation was amazing.
I actually like her music. I love her vibe. She's totally a bad bitch. I'm rooting for her and I want her to become more successful. I'm just saying I was really impressed by her Spanish singing. That was a lot of really complicated words that she said in that song.
Very complicated. I think she lived in Texas for a while. So maybe that's where she picked up her like pronunciation in Spanish. It was really good.
I really stand. And last but not least, what a Korean music stage is never complete without the dancers. And Korea seems to be getting on board with this and understanding just how important they are, because last year kind of in the fall, I want to say, they had a show called Street Woman Fighter, where, and the reason I know about the show is because one particular dancer that I started following, because she does a lot of work with J Park, her name is HyunAh. She's such a bad bitch. Oh my God. Like, my weakness for
She
bad
is.
bitches, our weakness for bad bitches is out of this world. She has this like really big tattoo on her thigh, which like tattoos are always frowned upon with TV stations. They always want to cover it up. And so she has this big ass tattoo on her butt cheek hip. And it's just like, bitch, come look at it. And, but she's also like obsessed with the Little Mermaid. So like, I'm also obsessed with her because of that, because same. And so, yeah, so HyunAh and her team actually won the first season of Street Woman Fighter. And I think everyone, all the idols were excited watching this show too. It was really cool. And then at the end of it, Jessi, when she dropped her Cold Hearted song, she ended up doing an MV with all of the women dancers from the show, which I think was awesome. I think dancers don't get enough recognition as it is, because they're just in the background. That's what they're meant to do. But the fact that they got a chance to showcase their personalities and their interests, and that they're people, they're not just in the background, like here to make the artist look pretty, but they actually deserve all the flowers themselves.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed. And then they did like another version after that called Street Dance Girl Fighter, which with younger dancers. And yeah, so I'm just really happy that dancers are getting their moment in Korea right now.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was with Kai's. Yeah, it was with Kai's first mini album. The fan cam of one of the dancers became almost as popular as like his music video. One of the girls was like, she was just supposed to be in the background, but there were points where she would outshine Kai, which is not easy to
That's
do.
a feat.
Like, it's not easy.
Literal feat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just Korean women dancers, you're everything. And there's one dancer that always dances with Taemin and with Shiny.
Yeah.
I love her. Whomever she is, I stan you too. So yeah.
There's this other dancer. I think she just does a lot of work with SM, because I see her in everything. And she is actually, I saw her with Bam Bam with his first album.
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
You know, she always stands out, even when she's with these super, super big idols who have really big stage presence. She still like manages to like slip into there and be like, I'm here, pay attention to me. And like, yes, I am.
She has incredible stage presence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, I hope you guys are satisfied with knowing that we're not only watching and following and standing men, we actually do stand a lot of women, but we just got carried away in our first few episodes showcasing a lot of the male entertainers that we follow. I think just because they're more in our faces all the time. I think the comebacks and everything, everybody that we've been talking about has been for a specific reason and relevant for the time being, but we're always keeping an eye out for our girls.
And we'll definitely have future episodes where we talk more detail about a lot of the women that we mentioned today. So look out for that. It should be fun. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the MIA2K podcast. We have lots of great content coming up ahead. So please don't forget to follow and subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you enjoyed our episodes, please rate us 5 stars.
And for the real-time tea, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook by searching for @MIA2K podcast. Dale. Bye.